Okay, we're live.
Hello.
I'm so excited today to talk to Jen Loganbill. She is a woman with lots and lots and lots of fires in the iron. She's amazing. She is an entrepreneur, a mama. She is a certified fitness trainer, a nutritionist. I mean, pretty much what don't you do? You do everything.
Yes.
A nurse. I mean, you're a woman of many talents. So she's also Jen's Fit Group is the award winner this year of Missouri's Entrepreneur of the Year and Missouri's Health and Fitness Club. So she is definitely well deserved in those honors, because I hear nothing but wonderful things from my patients who work out with her, and just in the community in general loves her. So I couldn't be more honored to be able to talk to her tonight.
I'm
Welcome.
happy to be here. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So since some people may not, this actually goes to all over the country. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so kind of like you said, I'm a mom. I'm married to this amazing guy. It takes two for sure whenever you're an entrepreneur.
Yes.
I am a nurse and a personal trainer, nutritionist. I love to stay busy, obviously. And so it's funny, people will always say, do you still work as a nurse, or what made you do this? And my passions are really to help people. So I think that's where the nurse hat kind of comes in, and then fitness. So I just kind of squished both together, and that's what we ended up with. And so it's amazing to me that I started with 15 members and now I'm almost to 6,000.
Wow.
I started my business February of 2018. It was just kind of funny. It all started with a couple of my sister-in-laws and some friends were like, hey, could you help me lose some weight? I've always been into solely lifting weights at the gym. And then I have two small kiddos. So after my second son, I realized it was impossible to get to the gym. So I have a daughter who's 5 and a 3-year-old son. And to take 2 kids to the gym or the daycare, or finding a family member who could watch them, because my husband, we also owned a trucking company at the time. So he was gone quite a bit and it was impossible. And as I preach to my members, you will not see results if you are not consistent. That's just how it is. And so the inconsistency, I wasn't seeing it, and wasn't seeing the results that I knew I could get with what I was putting in. And so I started doing some workouts at home, and then they reached out to me almost simultaneously, all within a month or 2. So I just started recording myself, and it was super ugly at first. It was very much, let's just try to prop my phone up on this and let's go. And so we kind of started, they were about 40 minutes long, and then we've tapered them down to about 24 to 26, 28 minutes. And every single day I hit a muscle group. So it's kind of the same routine that I did when I would go to the gym. Chest on Monday, back on Tuesday, shoulders on Wednesday, arms on Thursday, legs on Friday. So I just started that and started recording myself with some dumbbells, and then this weight set actually behind me is the one we bought when I was like, let's do this. So it's just, you have to go all in. And that's kind of how I teach my members when they join. You have to go all in and realize this is a lifestyle change. This isn't going to be a quick fix. And I teach them that, you didn't gain the weight or get out of shape overnight or in 30 days. And so it's going to take longer to gain lean muscle mass that's noticeable, lose the fat, and just make it a habit. That's what I really want it to be, is a lifestyle change for my members.
Yeah, that's what I focus on with my particular business. Is I really think there's 3 components to health: nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset. Because if it doesn't become a mindset, you won't stick with it. And it doesn't become, if it's not a lifestyle change, then it was not sustainable. It's got to be something you enjoy and something that you make part of your life in order for you to continue. Yep. So, and most entrepreneurs kind of start with that passion too, right? So something that just drives you, that you can't let go.
Yep.
And that you just decide, this is what is calling me, similar to being a nurse in that respect.
Yes.
So how did you incorporate nutrition though? Because it's very unique to see someone who is in nutrition and exercise together. You often see personal trainers or dietitians, but the combo is a very unique, special thing. So how did that kind of come about?
So I have always followed for 11 years a very strict, clean food plan. And I try not to call it a diet or a strict meal plan, because I don't want you to feel like it's something that you have to follow for 30 days and then you're done. I want it to be, I always tell my members, we eat clean food that blesses our body. So they're like, I don't even know where to start. And it is overwhelming, because a lot of people have, oh, I'm just going to eat a bunch of fruit, and that's healthy, right? And so teaching them, and I try to do it in a way that I can teach them. So every week I release a new meal plan guide, and it's very family friendly. So inside of my group, I have members 18 to the age of 81, all walks of life, all different lifestyles. Every single person here looks different, has different goals. It's amazing. And I try to teach them, first, you're not going to see results without eating clean. You can't out-train a poor diet. So we're lifting the weights and we're putting in the hard work. That's really the easiest part. Eating clean and within your macros, that's the hardest part. And being consistent without overdoing it and making it an unhealthy balance, which can be done with working out, and strict eating can be in an unhealthy way as well. So I try to keep the balance there. You have to have balance of working out 30 minutes or less a day. That's such a small part of your day. I tell them, move your body intentionally every single day. Drink the water, even though we don't want to. 32 ounces every single meal, 32 ounces during your workout gets you pretty much a gallon a day. At least get close to it. And eating the food that blesses your body. So they're like, my kids want this and I want that. So the meal plans that I create, I try to call them meal plan guides, because I have all different followers on that. Some follow extremely to the T. They don't go off of it. I have some who use it for some recipe ideas, for clean ideas for their family. And some who just follow the breakfast and the lunch and the snacks, because those are individual based. So for example, I would make breakfast for myself, the snacks are for myself, the lunch is for myself, and then the dinners are family friendly, can feed up to about 4.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's what I teach my clients as well, as clean eating. So this on the integrative nutrition courses that I teach, it's really about clean eating, because I don't believe that diets work. I don't believe that there's no one size fits all on anything. And so everybody's individual. And so you have to, if you practice clean eating principles where you just try to minimize processed food, you try to eat the whole food, an apple is an apple. Not an apple plus sugar plus salt plus everything else in it. If you know what the actual ingredients are in there, and there's 5 ingredients or less, then you're good to go.
Exactly.
So, so a lot of the nutrition that I work with my clients is really trying to work on clean eating, because it's really hard. It's really hard. And it's hard in a world where we have so many options and so many choices all the time. It's hard to make good choices. And we talk a lot about it's okay to, if you have a lunch you weren't expecting, it's okay. Like, we just reset for dinner.
Like I always say, it's not necessarily what you're eating, it's how much you're eating. You can have the slice of pizza at a birthday party or the cake, but your next meal choice just needs to be a good choice. So I have a lot of women who I feel experience, they have a very unhealthy relationship with their body and with food. And so I ask them to follow the meal plan as close as they can. It's very budget friendly. Everything I put on the meal plan can be bought at Aldi, all of these very budget friendly stores. And I don't put anything that I would not fix for my own family or eat myself, that I just don't expect them. And the same for the workouts. I don't ask them to do anything that I'm not standing right here behind me sweating doing myself. So I just feel like I will never, represent something that I'm not truly doing myself. So I think that's extremely important.
Well, and you can be in shape and still feel terrible, right? You can be in shape and still have problems with digestion issues and bloating and just feel bad. So you really do have to sort of work at the gut level too and get healthy. So I think I love that you have a message of both things, that it's important to, you don't want to be at the gym killing yourself getting in shape and then just go home and be bloated every time you eat. Like it's and a lot of people have individual medical issues that they have to, they'll do better if they practice clean eating principles as well. So I think that's always important too.
Yes, I get so many members who have complete lifestyle changes because maybe they don't follow the meal plan exactly, but they use the breakfast and the lunch. And they can still eat dinner with their family, and they just realize.
There you are. We had a little bit of a.
Can we get paused? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, and you know, and for people who have special diets, like I particularly don't eat gluten because I can't, and so if you practice this sort of clean eating principles too, it works for everybody. Like you can have people who might have special, like you mentioned, for you have particular snacks for you, and then at night with the kids, you have a certain meal plan. But that kind of idea just resonates for everybody. There's no downside to it, I should say.
Yes. And it's all about balance. Like I mentioned before, people go to one extreme or the other. And so it's trying to teach them that you can life and again.
Oh, we're losing you.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, it just looks like you're freezing maybe a little bit.
Can you hear me now? Are we good?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's just your picture keeps freezing a little bit. I think maybe it's it could be, I don't know if you're on wireless or if you're on satellite or.
Let's see. How about now? Are we okay? I can move.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I'm in an old building, so sometimes my internet's not very good.
Well, and just stuff happens, right?
Yes.
That's the way of life.
Okay, I think so. I just kind of wanted to talk to you about some questions that I get from some of my members.
Sure.
If that was okay with you.
Yeah.
Just from just different female standpoints. So I have a lot of members who will do the workout and follow the meal plans, and then they become pregnant. So I just have them go talk to their OBGYN because every person is going to look different pregnant. Every pregnancy may be different. So I just immediately refer them to you. So just as an overall tip to somebody who is working out and becomes pregnant, what do you suggest for them?
So I always talk to my patients about, it depends on where you are as far as your fitness level before you got pregnant. So you can continue the same fitness level when you get pregnant. So if you're somebody who is, consistently goes to the gym several times per week and you have a fitness routine, you can continue that through the first trimester without any problems. Pregnancy is not the time to start getting in shape. You don't want to actually, most of the time you want to spend it on the couch for the first trimester. But if you're someone that, it provides you sleep better, you do better, you're already in shape, it's something that you feel you need to continue, then you should. Then it's good. Yeah. And so even weightlifting, that when you're in the first trimester, the uterus is really small. And so the baby is pretty protected. So if you were doing some weights, then there shouldn't be any issue to continue that. I usually advise people not to do anything where you're kind of lifting above your head too much in case you are clumsy or drop something, just to be more conscious of that. But as far as continuing the same level of fitness activity, then yeah, you should continue. The only thing I tell women in their second trimester is because the uterus does actually get to the belly button, you have to change the routine up as far as weightlifting. But there are certainly people who do body pump and, do the deadlifts, and they do fine, and they, do squats, and they're able to continue because they had that level before they were pregnant. So most of it is just making sure that you're protecting the uterus so that you don't drop anything there. Or if you find yourself clumsy during pregnancy, you're not trying new moves, or, it's not the time to be Zumba dancing if you're really clumsy, kind of thing. You need to kind of continue that same level that you're comfortable with, that you're able to do. And I've had patients who've done yoga, Pilates, arm weights, all the way up to the end. Yeah. And that's fine.
Members who literally they finish their workout the day before they go in and have their baby. So I actually created, one of my employees, she was pregnant, and I was like, what a perfect opportunity to create low impact workouts for maybe my beginners or my older women and my pregnant mamas. So I have a whole series of low impact workouts for them to be kind of intentional of not laying flat on your back, because I worked out through both of my pregnancies. And so just those things of, that you learn when you're a mom and you learn as you go through, but also as a nurse, like what not to do. So.
Yeah, exercise is good for your endorphins. It makes you happy. You sleep better. Usually people, pregnancy sometimes comes with digestion issues. So that does typically make that a little bit better too. So I always encourage people to continue because it just makes you feel better. So why not? I mean, there's no downside. And the healthier you are, frankly, when you have to deliver is always a nice thing too.
Yes, I hear a lot of feedback, and they're like, if I didn't do the workouts during my pregnancy, I don't think I would have had as smooth of a delivery. So
yeah, and a lot of kind of what you're teaching is also good for pelvic floor. Yes. So a lot of the things that I've seen that through, looking at your website and kind of knowing some friends who participate in your activity is definitely once you're done having a baby, like that is fantastic, because after you have a baby, you need pelvic floor work. You need to do things that you're, essentially isolating your abs and then, strengthening your pelvis, because you've just done all that work to have a baby. So I certainly think that it's fantastic to have a program like that, especially that slow and steady program when you have postpartum too, because you got limited time and you are pretty wiped out from having a newborn. So kind of gradually getting back into that would be fantastic too, to continue,
Yeah. Like I said, all walks of life. I have mamas who are like, skip the first trimester just because they can't shake the nausea, or, and then I have members who can say they pushed out a 9-pound baby all natural because they to them, you are the most powerful woman in the room. I tell them that every single chance that I get. I try to tell them, you can see it says the strongest in the room on back here. That's what, now I have so many men in my workout program as well. I teach them, just whoever you are, be the strongest in the room. And so that it's very cool to me to see how my members use that in all walks of life for them. They'll tell me, I went in for a job interview and I sat in my car and I just heard your voice tell me I'm the strongest person in the room. And so it's really cool to hear all of those stories.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the magic that you have of the ability to relate to everybody and the ability to meet people where they are, right? Yeah. That's how you're successful, is you try to meet people where they are and try to encourage them and inspire them, which is, what I would assume why people will join your membership and what I hear from patients who love you. So
thank you. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, since we were talking about tips, do you have a tip for someone who's starting out, maybe if there's something that they could, if they were thinking about joining you and didn't know much about you and wanted to sort of say, what can this provide me as far as a tip to start working out if I'm afraid to do it?
So I get that a lot. They're like, where do I start? I've never worked out or I've never lifted weights, which is why I create my program pretty much solely around dumbbells and lifting weights. I try to teach them that I think a lot of women have my whole gym life, going to the gym. I was on the weight side. Women would walk in. They would feel intimidated. I feel like I'm speaking as a whole. Feel intimidated. They're like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have all of these guys here looking at me. And I would be like, no, really, they're not looking at you, they're looking at themselves. But I think it's the lack of knowing what they're doing. So a lot of women are intimidated by weights and dumbbells, and what do I do with them? And so I teach proper form, because I don't want you to have an injury, and you're not going to see good results if you don't have proper form. So every workout I start it and I teach you proper form on the moves, and I coach you as we're doing the workout. Head up, chest, shoulders back, things like that, tips that if you're not experienced, then you're going to have bad form, which can lead to an injury. So tips on getting started. First, I always tell them, new members, get a gallon of water a day. Go buy a $1 jug of water at the grocery store and fill it up every single day for a week. And that's your indicator. You can pour it into a cup. Like this is what I do. I have a gallon, and every day I pour it into my cup because I can drink it better with a straw. For some reason, straws make you drink more water. And so flavor it if you need to with like a sugar-free, calorie-free, flavoring. They have all natural ones now that you can get a lemon and put it in there, anything to help you get that in. And I always say, they're like, a gallon is a lot. Break it up. Like I said earlier, 32 ounces with every meal, and then 32 ounces when you're, like, I catch myself, I'll be driving and I'm just chugging water. So sometimes during our workout breaks, we have I'll just chug, so we can get as much water as we can. But when you start getting this water, and then you maybe change your breakfast. So start eating, stop eating the processed Pop-Tarts or, a sugary bar that's easy to grab on your way out. Meal prep some eggs or some sausage, and make a little egg bowl. Start small. Do things. Don't feel defeated. That's my biggest thing. I tell all my members, I don't want you to feel defeated. And then the third tip would be to just intentionally move your body every day, whatever that looks like. If that means you're still too nervous to sign up for my group, go for a walk. Go for a 10-minute walk a day. Just get your heart rate up at least 5 minutes. It might look like 5 minutes for some people, 10 minutes. And my thing I always tell them is the secret to a better tomorrow is starting today. You can always wish, okay, I'll start tomorrow. I'll start Monday. No, I'm going to wait and start the first of the year. Start today, because tomorrow is guaranteed you're going to be in a better mood. You may be sore, but you're going to feel better tomorrow if you start right now. And then you're not going to keep putting it off of when you're going to start feeling better.
Yeah, I think what you said about movement is really important, because it doesn't have to be, I hate the word exercise. I typically tell people movement, because it could be parking far away at Hy-Vee, the furthest spot, and walking to go get your groceries and walking back. I mean, it has to be, some people have very strenuous, crazy schedules, and, truck drivers and stuff like that. I've talked to patients where I'm like, okay, if you have 30 minutes, walk in place for 30 minutes. Like, there's all kinds of things you can do that you just need to move your body. It doesn't have to be exercise per se. So just make sure that you move your body, because you will feel better if you continue to do that.
Yep.
For sure. It's a beautiful message, and definitely don't give up. You can always start again.
Exactly. I have members who have been in my group for over 2 years, going on since the very beginning. And they'll have a hard week and they don't get any workouts done. And I'm like, that's fine. Just start again. Like, let's start right now. Push play, get 10 minutes in. I had a member who was in my group for almost 2 years or over 2 years. She just had a baby. It was her first baby. And she reached out to me and she's like, I feel defeated. I don't know what to do. Because she never missed a workout before she had her baby. She worked through her whole pregnancy. And she's like, I just don't know what to do. I just can't seem to find the time. And I'm like, do you have the weekends off? And she said, yes. So I said, just do one workout. Start with one workout on your Saturday or Sunday, and you will feel better. And she's like, and she showed up this Saturday. She posted in the group, and she's like, I showed up for my one workout, and I feel great. Mm-hmm. So starting small and setting smaller expectations and goals that you can actually check mark is the start to get you going. And that's what it takes.
Well, and for her, give yourself some grace. It's okay. Right.
Yeah. And I think it's hard with society and, the internet, they give you just had your baby and 6 weeks later, you're already looking great and in shape.
You're on an award show like, like all the whatever those ladies that are, I can't remember the sisters that are always popular, like at some award show like 6 weeks later and they look like they didn't even give birth. I know.
Exactly. I'm like, it's okay. We're real here. That's the biggest thing is I try to teach them like, I'm real, you're real. And I want them to feel like they're working out with their best friend. So I try to always keep that relationship with my members. Like you reach out to me anytime you need me, you need a question, you have anything, I'm here, just ask me. And I can't help you unless you ask me. So I keep a very open door relationship with all my members.
Yeah, and I think, Tammy had made a mention in the comments that says that you might have a Facebook group that also you use to support people.
Yep, it's a private Facebook group that only members can be in. It's all women there. So my men who do the workouts, they're only on the website that I have, jensfitgroup.com. And then I have women who don't have Facebook or who choose to not be in the Facebook group and just want to do the workouts. They're online only as well. And then there's about 5,300 right now inside of the private Facebook group who are there. And it's just really nothing like you've ever seen before. It's this empowerment group of women who are like-minded, and I don't allow any negativity or disrespecting. And it's just an amazing group. It really is. Always there encouraging, good job. You post a sweaty selfie when you're done. It's kind of like an accountability. It's not required, but those who choose to do it, they get a little great job, good work every single day. And that just makes you like, okay, I feel good.
Yeah, women helping women is definitely a powerful force.
Yes.
And, when you're down and you need a little bit of pick-me-up, that it's always nice to know there are other people going through the same thing that you are. So that's a wonderful, beautiful group to be able to have other people kind of push you forward, especially if you're struggling.
Yes, all aspects of that. I haven't done a workout in a month. I feel awful. And then they just get this flood of comments and encouragement of, you can do it. Let's go. One workout at a time. Message Jen, reach out to her. I give pep talks every single day to people. And so.
Now I have to add part therapist to your hats.
But my husband, like I said when I just came on, he's amazing. He gets what I give and give and give to people. And then I get home and I give and give and give to my kids. So he gets the last, little bit of me. And I've realized recently, I've been watching a lot of podcasts or listening to a lot of podcasts, and they're like, don't forget to give to your number one person. So I'm like, yes, I need to give more to him. So
yeah. I think that's a pretty common theme when it comes to busy entrepreneur and mothers, Yes. In general, we tend to sort of give to everybody else and we're the last place. That's what that Epsom salt bath is for at the end of the day, right?
Exactly. Yes.
Or frankly, when you're a mom, 5 minutes to go to the bathroom without any kids is probably just as important self-care.
Yes. That's kind of what I teach with my workouts. I'm like, you can do it like Johnny. So my husband now, he does every workout with me. He was a gym goer for his entire life. And about a year and a half in my workouts, I'd always be like, record a workout with me. And he was like, no, those are girl workouts. And no, I don't want to do it. It's too hard. It's cardio. And I'm like, I don't like cardio, so it's not cardio. And so finally, one day I was standing in the kitchen and he could see this chest split that I have from my workouts. And he was like, I have been working so hard at the gym and you have a better chest split and chest definition than I do. And I was like, give me 1 week and I can guarantee you won't go back to the gym. And he gave me a week and he recorded them. And he's been doing them every day since. So I've transformed him. And I think it's like a date. It's a date we have every day. We come to work out and we record and it's our little date. And so these husbands who see that Johnny is on the screen with me doing these workouts have come to realize, oh, well, I could do these two, I think. And so it's really cool to see all of these women who have their kids join, or maybe their significant other. So then it's a little date for them. So that's what I love to see.
Well, and it's about a good workout, right? It's not men or women. It's a good workout. So you're providing good value and teaching people how to strengthen their body. So it doesn't matter who it is, right?
It's a little bit of a confidence booster when all these husbands are like, it's my butt every day. I'm like, I know. It's not a workout.
I think they're probably like, she's just a badass. She's awesome. That's amazing.
I'll see some husbands out in public and they'll be like, hey, Jen. I'm like, what's up? And the wives are too nervous to say hi, and the husbands will. They'll be like, that was a good workout. So it's funny. It's fun. I enjoy every bit of it.
Well, congratulations for teaching your husband that you are a woman with lots of knowledge and amazing.
Thank you. He's great. He just sits here quietly and does the workouts and dies along with all of us. So.
Well, so I probably should open up and see if there's any questions. I'm just going to scroll through here because I know pretty much everybody said, 47 people said they loved you. So I'm pretty sure that you're well loved. And I don't think there was any questions that I saw. I just saw a lot of people saying how wonderful you are. Oh, it says mention the support group, which you did in Facebook. Yeah. So if you have any questions, though, just feel free to post in there as we finish up our conversation to the people watching if they have anything they want to say. Oh, there's Brandy said that you have an 8-year-old that loves watching you teach. Yeah. Oh, yeah, because you do have kids, actually. I saw that on there, too. You do offer some programs for kids, right?
Yeah, so I have free kid workouts. So
beautiful.
A quick rundown of it. It's $30 a month. You get 5 new workouts and then a weekend workout that repeats every Saturday and Sunday on the month. And then you get a new one every month for the weekend. You'll never do the same workout twice. But every day we hit a different muscle group. And then you get a brand new weekly meal plan guide. And I offer, right now I have 3 free kid workouts, especially with everyone being quarantined. I came up with those. My daughter has helped me record them. I actually have another one I'm getting ready to release to you guys. And those are free on my website. And the kids love them. I have teachers pull them up at school for their classroom to do. We have the kids cardio. We have the kids like full body. They don't need anything. Some of them will use just whatever they can find to hold in their hands, just for, to pretend like they're weights, water bottles, anything. Just to teach kids at a young age, like, it's okay to work out. You're here to move your body because your body deserves it, not because you're punishing your body. So developing those type of things at a young age are so important.
Well, if it becomes something fun, you're going to continue it. It's going to be something, if you're not in a sport, but you still learn that moving is important, you're going to continue to do that even as you grow up, and you'll continue, and it'll be a good family activity, right? So when you take your kids out and you want them to get outside, especially now that we're all kind of together for so much time, you want to get them outside. And if they're doing these workouts with you, then it seems very natural for you guys to do something together, right?
My favorite story, I'll say it really quick, was one of my members, she's still in the group. Her daughter's about 8 or 9, and they were running it was last school year, they're running their mile at school. And she was out of breath on like her 3rd lap, and she stopped and was like out of breath, and she's like shaking her arms out, and the coach yelled at her and was like, come on, let's go, you can't stop. And she's like, Jen says to shake and break. And she gets done and she walks up to the coach and she said, where are the weights at? Because I'm here to lift weights. And so he's like, who's teaching you this? She said, Miss Jen. And so he's like, I need to meet Miss Jen. And so the mom told me that. And I love hearing those stories because they really are listening and watching you and everything you do.
You're going to have to make a little private video for the coach to get him in, get him on the program. Yeah. So she can continue to have some good coaching. Well, and it's important. It's important to be together and to teach your kids healthy lifestyle, right? It's about if you enjoy it and if you teach them and they participate, it always goes better than you saying, go outside and run around. It's much better as a family if you can participate in those things and they can enjoy them as they, get older. And it makes, honestly, clean eating better too, because they understand the rewards of it. I mean, they understand I'm doing this to help my body move during the day to make myself feel better. And if I also need to eat well, because I would hate to do all that work and then not feel good because I had pizza for dinner every night,
Right. Exactly.
It makes it a little easier when they're part of your process. So yeah. Amazing. Well, I appreciate very much everything that you have brought to us tonight. Did you have any questions or anything else that you needed to ask me?
I think what's a good, I can get another. I get through a lot of the questions that I get.
Sure.
Do you have any tips for maybe a female who had a hysterectomy or is postmenopausal that's struggling with losing weight and working out, eating, clean food within their macros? Just any tips that you would have. I have a lot of members that I feel like would relate with that.
So losing weight, certainly when you're postmenopausal, is hard because your estrogen levels go down, all your hormone levels go down, and so they just don't work with you as well as they used to when you had hormones circulating. So first of all, make sure you don't actually definitely see your doctor, make sure there's not something else going on causing weight gain, like a thyroid problem, or you aren't having hot flashes or something that needs to be addressed to make it hard. I think, one thing that you said that's really important that ties in here is people don't think about how much you need to drink water.
Yes.
I actually have a freebie on my website about top 5 mistakes women make over 40 with losing weight, because one of the big things is very few of us drink enough water.
Yep.
And really, you got to get all the toxins out of your body. If you're working out, especially, you got to get all that out. And so typically it's hard to even get 8 glasses of water. So I always tell people, you got to have enough water. It's hugely important to losing weight. It doesn't seem like it, but I promise if people followed your 1 gallon a day, even that, they would be like, oh my gosh, this is actually changing something. Rarely do people actually drink enough water. The other thing is that people don't often put enough value into sleep. Like sleep, if your cortisol levels, which is your stress hormone, the hormone that makes you kind of run from the bear if it's running after you, if your cortisol levels are so high because you don't get enough sleep, you're always shortchanging yourself on sleep, then it's very difficult to lose weight because your body is always in this fight mode. It's always kind of, the sugars are being released, they're not being broken down, and essentially that's just stored in fat. So I always tell people to don't ignore the fact that we really should get good sleep at night and make it a priority to have a fairly routine sleep schedule, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time. The other thing is, and definitely you hit on this, is women lose muscle mass as they age. So weightlifting, weight-bearing exercises are much more important than cardio. So you should definitely do cardio, but you definitely need to put in a weight-bearing exercise plan. So sometimes that can be lifting weights, like what you're talking about. Sometimes it can be a hard Pilates class. Like Pilates is hard because it uses all your body weight to have to do these particular postures. So weight-bearing, you have to incorporate that into your exercise routine, because you lose so much muscle mass as you age that if you don't gain that back, then you lose sort of that metabolism, that the benefit of those calories you just burn at rest. You know what I mean? And then your muscles will continue to need calories just burning at rest. So I always talk to people about weight-bearing exercise. It's not just about cardio. It's about incorporating weights.
I incorporate the cardio with our weights. So it's pretty much a full HIIT workout. So I have my older women can do 3 pounds, 5 pounds, anything. I'm like, just do anything, because then you're building this muscle. So then your body's in a fat burning state.
Yeah. And mixing it up like you're talking about, where you're doing cardio and weight bearing, is important, because then essentially those muscles aren't getting sort of used to that same routine. So, mixing it up is also, HIIT is perfect. Like HIIT is actually a really important type of exercise for women with autoimmune disorders as well. That HIIT kind of high intensity and then rest phases are actually shown in a lot of research to show very important for women with autoimmune problems as well, like thyroid issues. So, and then the other thing, sometimes women actually have hormone imbalances afterwards, and they sometimes have to change their diet. Like some women end up having to cut out dairy because they, accumulate a lot of fat around their waistline, and it just bothers them. They're doing everything right, and it just doesn't seem to be working. So sometimes we do have to kind of talk about maybe there is a hormonal imbalance that has to be treated from that perspective. But I find a lot of women who are starting out who are struggling with that is because they're not getting the other things they don't think about, like sleep and water and weight-bearing exercise.
We kind of go through all the steps, and whenever I feel I'm like, we don't necessarily focus on the number on the scale. I try to actually keep them away from that. I'm like, we're taking progress pictures, and how do you feel is the most important. And if they've been here, 40 weeks, and I know they're eating clean, I know they're getting their water, and everything is doing, going exactly as they should be, that's when I'm like, you need to probably go see your doctor.
Yeah. And in the scale, it should definitely not be the important part. It's how you feel in your clothes, right? If you're getting into those skinny jeans, then go for it. Who cares if it says 1 pound less?
Exactly. And, as you're lifting weights, you're gaining muscle. So that scale is going to actually, some people will be like, I've been here 30 weeks and my scale's actually, heavier, and I'm 5 pant sizes smaller. And I'm like, that's the beauty of lifting weights, is you can make your body look like the way you want it to look like, and you can transform it. I feel like with running, you're going to overwork, undereat, and you're still probably not going to be happy if you're only doing a cardio routine. If you need to incorporate some sort of weight bearing, whether Pilates or lifting weights or something. So super important.
Yeah. And sometimes it's exactly what you said. It depends on what level you're hoping to achieve, right? What is the goal? It's not necessarily about losing weight. It could be about just getting into those skinny jeans. It could be about competing. It could be, there's all different levels of goals. So it's really about your goal, not about the scale. Because those people who are, hardcore lifters are going to gain weight because they're gaining a ton of muscle mass, but that shouldn't be, if that's their goal, that's okay. It's not about the scale.
Yes. And I try to preach that. I have some women, I call them slaves to the scale, because every morning they wake up and they get on the scale, and if it hasn't moved, they feel bad. And then it doesn't matter. You feel better. You look 10 years younger. You are in 6 pant sizes smaller. Who cares? I always say there's not a little, box over your head telling us you weigh 156 pounds. We don't care. Nobody cares. And so another tip that I'm like, you can't compare yourself to anybody that's on the same journey as you, but it's going to look different. So I have sisters who are in the group together. I call all my girls who are in the group sweaty sisters, but they're truly sisters. They're like, we've been in the same time. I know we do the same workouts. Like, what's the difference? And I'm like, you are a different person. It's going to look different for you versus her, or, your lifestyle. And then I always say, you can't compare yourself to anybody else. Because your journeys look different. Your bodies are different. Your chemical makeups are different. Everything is different. And if you're comparing yourself with them, then I think you kind of start getting like a bad feeling of yourself, and maybe, what am I doing wrong? And so I'm like, don't do that. That's a big thing. You cannot compare yourselves. We can clap for them. We clap for you, clap for ourselves, but don't compare yourself to anybody, because no one's on the same journey. Your bodies are not the same. So another big thing, one 40-year-old is postmenopausal, looks different from the next. So that's a good thing for them.
Yeah. And, we you and I both mentioned clean eating, but it doesn't always translate that for everybody. So someone with like PCOS, their version of clean eating is going to be very different than someone who doesn't have that. They will have to focus on a certain amount of carbs. Like, I'm not a big fan. I mean, you can probably see all my stuff on my web, but like, I don't put people on these keto diets and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't think that's the right choice. There are certain conditions that need to have a sort of modified clean eating, like they have to have a certain range of carbs, and they need to worry about their protein, and they need to sort of incorporate different things. So when you look at two people standing next to each other, no one knows that other component And, one thing I find that I actually personally had when I hit 40, I'm pretty in shape. I like hot yoga, run, like I've always been in shape, but I couldn't lose weight either after 40. And I was like, what is the deal with this? This is not fair. But I didn't take into account stress, like I didn't take into account that, I was like a hot mess at night. Like I get home and I would be like, I gotta like take it down. So I had to start doing some journaling and start doing some, 5-minute journal in the morning. Like I had to do these kind of, de-stressing things because it was just working against me. I was making, I did everything on that, the textbook, but if you don't work on those particular things, you're going to work against yourself all the time. And so those things, looking at two different people sitting next to each other, you have no idea what's going on in their life. They could be working 3 jobs and 6 kids and all the other things that are there. So your idea of being you is the most important, right? Everybody's, has bio-individuality. We're all different. So we just need to work within our own, listen to our own bodies so that we know what's the right choice for ourselves,
Yes, I try to preach that as much as I can.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
We're in a world that's compare-itis, as they call it.
Yeah, it's very true.
You compare yourself to everybody, and it's hard not to want to understand why you're different. So I think there was one question about, what kind of workout do you recommend for someone who has rheumatoid arthritis?
So first, if I get these questions, I have the low impact workouts, which seems to work quite a bit because they'll have some days that they feel great and they can do the regular workout. And I just tell them, listen to your body, because there's going to be moves maybe that I'm doing that you're not going to be able to do. So I give alternative moves at the very beginning of the workout. If I'm going to do a burpee, I'm going to say, okay, if you can't do a burpee, that's fine. If you're pregnant, if you just can't do it, I will give an alternative and I'll show what that looks like. Or during the burpees, I'll say, if you can't do this move, do this instead. Or I will have a one-on-one conversation and they will do the workouts for a week. And I tell them, write down notes as you're working out. Jumping jacks. Okay, jumping jacks don't work. Bent over rows. Those were kind of hard on this area because I have a lot of inflammation over here. Some days are easier. I have a ton of, like I said, everything you can think of in my members, I have something. So I work with them if they reach out to me and they're like, Jen, I had a flare up today. I just couldn't hardly get out of bed. Don't do the workout. Maybe go for a walk today or do the low impact. Or I have a bonus membership. It's $5 extra and you get a ton of different variation workouts. You get like an isolation of abs and booty and cardio and a dance cardio and just fun different things that are bonuses. So just do one of the bonuses today that are 15 minutes. Anything, but I have found that people who are consistent feel less pain because they're building those bones stronger in their muscle and they're decreasing their fat. So life in their bodies just feel a little bit better when they're consistent. And drinking the water. It's very funny that we touch on this because it's when people get the water, they notice all of these less aches and pains and their joints feel a little bit better versus people who don't drink the gallon of water a day.
Do you typically, and just out of curiosity, do you typically tell anybody to take anything after they work out, like certain supplements? Because I'm a big fan of BCA powder, like getting amino acids afterwards. So I didn't know if it's something that you preach as well, or...
Yeah, I have supplements that I take. And again, it's one of those things like I don't allow any, big companies in the group and doing any selling or anything like that. It's something that you can buy. I really like First Form products. And so locally we have some supplement superstores that will work with us. The Minmo supplement superstores treat Jen's Get Fit group members like royalty. And I suggest, an isolate for your post-workout to help build the muscle. A lot of people aren't getting enough protein in their diet. Or I have some who are vegetarian or vegan. So then there's a plant-based protein that you can get because it's really hard to hit your high protein when you are plant-based. So I have a plant-based guide of like tips and tricks on how to get the protein and not so much focus on the carbs, or then BCAAs are a great option. I suggest greens to have a healthy gut, or probiotic. So if you don't have a healthy gut, you're going to struggle and have a never-ending battle with weight loss and just feeling good. And inflammation through your face and your skin, everything starts with your gut. So people are like, what supplement should I just start with? And I'm like, really a good quality probiotic or the greens. First Form has the Opti Greens. They're so good. I've taken them for over 3 years, every single day, and I feel great when I take them. Less bloating, my gut feels great. But if you can't get those, just get a good probiotic and start with that. And then clean eating, you shouldn't need much more. But I allow that to be as what you want to do with supplements. Like, I don't push them. I'm like, this is what I take. This is what I suggest. You do whatever you want with that. I think every person looks different on what they can afford, what they like, what they don't like, what they want to take, lifestyle changes. So I leave that up to them, but I just put what my recommendations would be out there.
Yeah, we both, I think, have the similar kind of model of, health coaching is what I'm doing. Obviously, I'm an OB/GYN by day, but this company is about health coaching. And so it's about being a cheerleader for somebody, helping them to take a look at what they're doing and trying to support them in that particular goal. Like, what is the goal? What is the journey? Is it less bloating, less pain? Where are we trying to go? And let me help you find those resources. And then you get to that goal.
Yep.
So to help you kind of find that. So same thing, similar kind of model that I do. I know you have to go because you have lots going on. So I want to say thank you so, so much for everything today. I appreciate you coming on. And I know you have a lot of raving fans over there. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I love them all. They're so amazing.
I know, and they love you too. So thank you very much. And I'm going to end this live, and then we'll just chat for a few seconds afterwards. Okay?
Perfect. Thanks. See you guys.